And he goes, "Good morning." So now we're live, just like that.
And we're on.
And we're off.
All right.
How's it going?
It's good, yeah. Yeah, it's a good day. I'm enjoying the change in the weather, and I don't know, for some reason I've just been looking forward to this day for like 2 weeks now, because I saw it on the extended forecast. I don't know why, but
That it wasn't going to be 95.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I was kind of getting used to the heat, but it's just like there was a constant layer of sweat on me, and I still do not enjoy that. So.
Well, speaking of a constant layer of sweat, I do have an image from our city of you, from the waist down. It's not creepy or anything at all.
At Matt's house.
At Matt Lamb's house, yeah.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah, because you were just completely drenched.
Yeah, that was a brutal day.
That was definitely. It felt like the hottest and most humid of the days.
Yeah, for sure.
And I
Well,
mean,
on that south-facing driveway, we were just catching that
Cooking.
sun for
yeah, we were cooking.
And then Justin comes around like, "Oh, we had shade in the backyard. Where were you guys?"
Justin was like inside drinking lemonade. Yeah, man, our city. We didn't have a pod last week because Justin was gone. But we just wrapped the last of the third installment of Our City last week with the high school youth.
That was awesome.
The youths.
Yeah.
The high school youths.
Yeah, 30 plus.
Yeah.
Throughout the week. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Did you catch up on your sleep?
Getting there. Yeah, it was kind of just the tail end of the week was kind of busy too, because I was preaching this Sunday, and then we also, the storm. There was people with trees down, and so we were trying to organize some of that stuff. And then we had surf projects this weekend, and so this may be another reason I was looking forward to today and this week was just to kind of
And then I dragged you out here.
Yeah. No, this
Your
is good.
favorite thing to do.
No, this is good. This is good.
But Our City, just for folks who don't know, is essentially a lock-in for our high school youth, where we have them camp out at Concordia High School, and then from Sunday to Wednesday we dispatch and we go do different serve events. We did the diaper bank, food bank, we did park cleanup at Zarinsky, we did open door mission, we did Heartland Hope mission.
Yep.
We did
cleaned up at Matt Lamb's house.
Which I was thinking about him Wednesday, because he's got some mature trees there that were definitely all exposed to that ridiculous wind that we saw.
Yeah, right.
Basically the night that Our City wrapped.
Yeah, just an hour later.
I was like, how much of a mess is his yard? He's cleaned up his entire yard for him.
We just
it's
cleaned
a total
up this mess
again.
Yeah,
gotta go back.
And Omaha Street School too.
Omaha Street School, and
we did
Lutheran Family Services.
Yeah, right.
Man,
it was a ton.
It was a lot.
That was good.
Yeah,
and some fun stuff in between. We did Top Golf, the arcade Bolero, movie night.
Yep.
Yeah, that was cool. A lot of good stuff.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Oh, that was good.
Yeah. Ice cream. Lots of ice cream.
Yep.
Some basketball.
Yeah, lots of basketball.
To the viewing public and to the listening audience, all this back and forth about who's a better basketball player, Justin or myself, who'd win one-on-one, which, again, we all know the answer to that. Turns out, hi, Logan. It turns out that Brady would stomp both of us, and it wouldn't even be close. It wouldn't even be close.
I don't know if that's true.
I was like, this guy is incredible. Yeah. He's a total baller.
Yeah. Well, and Nick, too. And some of those high schoolers.
Yeah, see? See what he does?
Grant was...
See how he's deflecting? He's humble.
Jacob Jordal was controlling the paint that first night.
Yeah, there's something about, and the thing about like those pickup games is there's no stretching and warming up and sort of easing into
just
it.
Jump in.
It was like resting heart rate to 170.
Yeah.
In an instant, like it was just right away, because we're playing against kids.
Yeah.
Even Nick. I mean, Nick's what, 25?
Yeah, mid-20s,
something like that.
Probably,
yeah, he's a kid.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, this guy, holy smokes!
Well,
I'm glad we were on the same team.
Yeah, that we had several wins in a row. That's fun.
Yeah, we did. We kind of ran the tables there until that last game.
Kind of ran out of gas. 3-on-3
It
against
was
high school.
11:30. I'm like,
Well, and Nick too. Yeah.
Grandpa needs to take his medicine. Grandpa needs his nightly pack of mystery pills.
Oh, and my feet hurt so bad because playing in running shoes.
We're playing in running
is
shoes.
just not a good idea.
Yeah, it's
My
not a good
ankles
idea.
and
The
feet
whole time
were
I was
just-
thinking, just don't roll an ankle, sprain an
Right,
ankle,
yeah.
blow an Achilles,
Oh man.
or blow a knee.
Yep.
I was thinking that the entire time.
Yeah. If we
here
get
we
out
are.
of here unscathed, that's
Yeah. The only
that's
one who
priority
got
one.
hurt was a freshman basketball player.
Yeah, Grant.
Yeah.
He looked like he was walking good on Sunday.
He said he feels better.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
But it was great, man. It was great. So much fun with the kids. Such a great opportunity to develop relationships with them, and really, as I mentioned to them on that last night, and I addressed them. We, in my generation, we're really hard on kids that age.
Right.
Because we think they're spoiled. They've got everything. They're ungrateful. They're lazy. They're selfish. So on. On and on and on.
Right.
And the reality is, those are awesome kids
Yeah.
from every walk of life, and they didn't complain one time.
Yeah.
About-
I never heard. Yeah.
Not
never
a
heard
single
once.
complaint about the work that we were doing, the conditions we were in, including but not limited to handing out those blessing bags to the homeless downtown on that last day, that really hot day.
Yeah.
Just not a single complaint.
Yeah. Yeah. They wanted more. I mean, that was
Yeah.
yeah. That was cool to see, and just yeah, even in the heat. I mean, there was plenty of times I wanted to I wanted to complain a little bit, but it's like, but they're not complaining. I sure can't. And,
Yeah.
But yeah, those connections were huge. I talked to a couple parents on Sunday because there were several kids that were kind of new, families maybe new to the church, and their kids were kind of taking a leap to jump into 4 days and 3 nights with a group of kids you don't know that well.
Right.
And they came away and like, yeah, on Sunday everyone was coming up and saying hi to it. It was just like, it's so meaningful, when you're, and maybe the heat helps because I feel like you go through kind of some adversity and it kind of draws you closer. Like, remember that one time we were out and it was 100 degrees, and so I think that was kind of meaningful to build those connections between the kids, and to just us as adults getting to connect with them. I mean, on Sunday, like, I just feel like you see them and it's like you have more of a bond kind of now of like,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's cool. So,
Yeah, there's something special about that particular event, and one of the things that's special about GraceHill is the access that people have to the staff and the pastors in particular, to you and to Justin. You're not some mysterious character who just appears on a Sunday, streamed in from Oklahoma, for example.
Yeah.
Nor are you this guy who, you might catch a greeting from, and a handshake on the way in. They know you.
Yeah.
They know you guys, and it's their church. It's the youth. It's their church as much as it is anybody else's.
Right.
And for them to get to know you guys on a personal level, and see the sacrifices that you're making. You're away from your family. You're sleeping on the floor. You literally slept on the floor. I didn't this time. I
Yeah.
slept in my bed. It was great.
What was it? Ty was like straight on the floor, like, and he was like, "This is great for my back." I was like, "Are you serious?" I don't think he had a mat. So I was like, "Man, you are a braver man than I am."
Well, he also, like that last day, he's like, I'm not going to have ice cream. I'm going to sacrifice ice cream today. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, brother. Sounds good. I'm going to have 2.
yeah, I'll have yours for
I'll
you.
have
yeah.
yours.
Yeah, yeah, it was
But
cool,
just
though.
awesome kids, man.
For sure. For
Most
sure.
of them.
Yeah.
No, seriously. I can't. Usually, I could pick a kid or 2 out of a group and be like, not really
Yeah.
interested in hanging out with this kid. I can't think of a single solitary kid
Yeah.
that I wouldn't want to be, around, engaged in with these different activities that we do, whether fun or work.
Yeah.
It was just awesome.
It was
great.
yeah. Yeah, every year it seems like kind of has its own personality a little bit, depending on who's there.
Yeah.
And this one was, I don't know if it was like a little more, like it wasn't as much of like the pranks and stuff like that. Like we did some of that. I mean, you of course were involved in a little
I even got you, didn't I?
You got me so mad. But there was some of that. But it was just, a lot more focused on like we're serving, we're fellowshipping, we're worshiping, and I felt like all the kids connected pretty well. Like there wasn't factions or like groups, like everyone was kind of interacting with one another, and I thought that was very, very cool to see that happen. So
yeah. And we're not so naive to think that the relationships that were formed between those kids that they're going to carry out outside of a youth group necessarily.
Sure.
Because these kids are different. Like I said, they come from different walks of life, different activities, different interests, and things like that. But at youth and at church, there's a relationship. There's a bond there now.
For sure.
Yeah. I think that's important.
Yeah.
So,
and
you
you never know what's going to happen. We shaved Nick's head, so there's always something that pops up. Like, I did not think we'd be doing this.
I'm so thankful I went home.
You missed out. That was.
Yeah, but that would have been me.
You would have been the one getting.
They would have held me down.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, "Do you think your hair would grow back, Aaron?" They are ruthless.
Kicking him in, always down. Kicking him in, always down.
Zach Klein got proposed to, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, didn't expect that. Didn't see that coming. There was,
That kid just cracks me up, man.
Yeah.
But you had a week.
Yeah.
You had a week, and then Justin went on another vacation. Seemingly endless stream of vacations. Speaking of Justin, so it's 100 degrees outside. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I got to break this guy in his affinity to t-shirts. I broke him of the t-shirt, the pool deal. He was wearing 2 t-shirts.
The double shirts.
When we were serving outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his logic, to that was, well, this one catches the sweat.
Right. I think you just sweat twice as much.
You got 2 layers on. Just wear 1 t-shirt. You're going to sweat through it anyway.
Yeah,
like, hey, listen, we're all sweaty, okay? Yeah. 2 shirts.
Yeah.
What was he thinking?
It was a little warm for... Yeah. Oof. Yeah, that was... It's always the hottest week of the year, it seems like, when we do... Well, in the middle school one was hot, too.
It was.
Right? I mean, I wasn't there for that. I missed out.
Yeah, it was hot that week, and then it broke for like a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then high school... It's super hot for a week, then it broke.
Hot again, yeah.
But I think there's something about that, though. Like, going back to what you said, everybody's going through it. Like, we want the kids to understand that there are people who are, suffering. And I think it's a lot, it's more evident when the conditions are a little more brutal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it just works.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the coolest things we do, honestly, and that was kind of a brainchild from the beginning. It's always kind of been a part, I think, of what GraceHill does, and hopefully it'll continue being a part for a long time.
And this is all without a youth director.
Yeah, right. It was a little more kind of all hands on deck, which was kind of cool. All the volunteers that got involved. I mean, there was a lot of parents that did a ton. I mean, we need a shout out to Andy Melton and Allison Fireherm and Lindsay Henderson and Nicole Wadlovich and just I'm probably forgetting a few of them.
Cole was there,
Cole
and also
Jacob and
Kira, Elsa,
just a ton of them that stepped up in a big way. So that was really cool. I mean. Denise providing food. I mean,
I know. Yeah, Pat.
Always awesome. And so
there's it takes a village.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Hillary Rodham Clinton said once. Not to get political. So anyway, yeah. So then Justin's gone. So you came right back into, okay, I got to preach this week.
Yeah.
And a serve event at Heartland Hope Mission.
Yeah, we did this Heartland Hope. Yeah,
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did the back to school event with them, handing out backpacks and clothes to young people that are starting school, and really pretty humbling when, you know, so we had tables that were covered with like clothes, and then there were shoes underneath, you know, scattered about, and they said they have 1 minute to pick out a pair of shoes and a t-shirt. And it was like, there's no way. Like, we gave them 5 minutes, and we got backed up, but it was like, you know, give them time to kind of look through. And, you know, the little kids are like, oh man, are those Jordans over there? Like, oh man, there's Air Force Ones. And, you know, it was just, and they're donated from the community. And the kids were like really, really excited to see some of those things. And so I'm glad they were able to pick through and be blessed by that. It was cool.
Dude, every time I serve there, I want to go shopping and go right back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I want to go buy all the food items that they were short on and go back in stock, or like in that case, or like when we helped with the Christmas time, you know, like, we can do better than this. Let's just go, you know, because like you see those little kids and you're like, oh man, you know, their eyes are all wide and they're so excited, and I love that place.
Yeah. Yeah, they do a lot of good work, and
you wish I could have made down with Sarah and Cam, but they had a good time, and
of course, cool having them
there you were.
Sure, yeah.
There you were, and then Sunday morning, you had to preach about
loving our neighbor as ourselves, and so I think that just the whole week, and it was an opportunity to kind of pull in some examples from what we had been doing that week, and to share some of that. But yeah, I think the biggest thing I think that maybe stood out to me about just this message and kind of as preparing and stuff was just kind of this idea of interconnectedness between people. Like, I think our culture is so good at kind of being individualistic, like it's about me and my quest for what I want. And so I think it was challenging for me, because I think our culture is so good at, in subtle ways, like kind of justifying it sometimes. You know, it's like, it's easy to, you know, look at people and come up with excuses for why I don't need to help them or contribute. I think, you know, I found it in myself sometimes. I'll see someone in need and immediately my mind jumps to, well, you know, what did they do to get themselves there? And it's like, I want to pass the blame and give a reason and kind of give myself almost a justification for why I might not need to jump in and help. But I think that's what stood out to me, is just how God has created us all to be kind of interconnected, that our happiness and joy, true happiness and joy, I think is really kind of intertwined with and connected with that of those around us. And this kind of quest for, you know, for me to be happy, me to be content, me to be fulfilled, actually ends up kind of empty in the end. But when it often is more difficult and more challenging, more frustrating, and more, you know, whatever else, to have that connection with others, because it's easier if I can just do it myself. But I think that's one thing that really stood out to me, was just the way God has called us all to be in community with one another. And I think a lot of times the way he demonstrates his love for people is actually shared through other people, which seems kind of frustrating sometimes too. Like, God, just pour out your blessings upon me, versus I have to receive them through someone else. And so I think a lot of times the way we share with others is one of the ways that God will show them just how much he loves them. And so I think it was a call. It was convicting to prepare that. And hopefully it just kind of got people thinking about, how can I, you know, start making some small steps, you know, in the days to come, to maybe shift that balance from just always about loving myself, always about taking care of myself, of how could I maybe put some effort into taking care of and loving those around me too. So
and not just tolerating.
It's a good word.
Others, you know, but really, you know, pouring yourselves into. And I mean, we have so many examples. I mean, even last week is a great example of seeing the love that you know, like our kids have had and leaders have had. So like the volunteers who volunteered their time to support our city event, loving on those kids, for the kids to love on one another and also others in the community, to cap it with Heartland Hope on Saturday, a serve event. There are all kinds of examples in a culture, in a time, in a society where it's very tribal, and it seems to me like everything is pointing to divisiveness and not just judging people from in the different perspectives, but actually hating them.
Right.
I mean, it seems like everything that is, whether it's the news or social media is pointing us or pushing us to hate others.
Yeah.
Not love them. And boy, I'll tell you what, we need more love. We need more love
For sure.
between now and the end of the year, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's I'm very thankful for opportunities to see people being selfless.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a pretty selfish society.
Yeah, it seems like you just hear more and more as we engage in those opportunities. Just people are always saying how meaningful that was to them to be able to serve, how eye-opening it was. Or I'll be honest with, I was feeling a little overwhelmed as the weekend was coming and just trying to get some people sent out to clear out trees and stuff. And I was feeling pretty negative towards it. I was like, this stupid storm hits and now we gotta do all this, and people are calling about trees. It's like I don't know anything about tree removal. And then, but after the fact, I had the chance to talk, Pastor John Languish, we had a crew over at his house, and I talked to him on the phone Saturday after a crew had kind of cleared away his place. Yeah. And he was just beside it. He was just in so much gratitude, just beside himself of he just couldn't believe it. And they did more than what he expected they would do. He had a limb down, but they ended up taking the whole tree for him. And he was like, this is just incredible.
He was like, no, the tree's still good.
Yeah.
They took the whole tree.
They took the whole tree. Yeah, I got home and I had no tree.
I had no tree.
But he was he was going to bring in a tree service to get the rest of it. And just his gratitude and just thankfulness. And he talked about how he was so thankful to be part of a church that takes care of its own. And it really kind of it was convicting of I should probably have a better attitude about this. But it's those moments where you're like, okay, being connected and serving together is so much more fulfilling and so much more of what God designed us for than hey, I'm just going to be flying solo out here. Yeah. I know what I want and I'm going to go get it. Versus, hey, how can I bring other people along? How can I look and see maybe what they need? And in fact, helping them to reach that point of fulfillment actually helps me get there too.
Yeah.
When I see other people experience that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just very much like your message, talking about, listen, if you don't know Brady's tireless. I mean, he works harder than anybody else on staff. I'll just say that.
I don't know.
You do. True. Nope. Stop shaking your head. You do. And your role has evolved, and you have your hands in a lot of different things because of your skills and your heart. So yeah, at the end of a long day, when your kids are like, play with us, Dad. And you're like, later. No, Dad, play with us. Okay, fine. I'm going to play with you. You know what? Because, if I don't say yes now, it's just going to be, okay, so I'm going to play with you.
Yeah.
What are we playing? We're going to be baby lizards.
Of course that's what we're going to be.
I was crying because I remember those days.
Right,
I remember them fondly, by the way.
Yeah.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
If I put myself back in those shoes in the moment, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this right now.
Yeah.
And my kid's thing was always, Kayla was like, be a bear. And what that meant was I would get on all fours and crawl around, and then they would jump on my back like cubs.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, but
Good
I
stuff,
remember
yeah.
that so fondly now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you will too.
Yeah. There's a day coming where, because it is all of this is a call for us to get back to maybe a different mindset. You know, we're always rushing and trying to get places and do things, and there is value in slowing down and pretending to be a baby lizard every once in a while, or a bear, or a horse, or whatever it has to be. But
So how does one be a baby lizard?
that's a good question. I'm guessing I didn't do it justice.
Did you be like flat on your stomach and like?
Well, it started out, so we have this game. It's like called Sleeping Dragon or something. And so there's this plastic dragon, and it has like these little baby dragons that you put on its back, and then you put like these little wooden eggs on top of it, and then you have tweezers, and you try to pull the baby dragons off of the sleeping dragon's back without disturbing the eggs. And if the eggs fall off, then you get penalized. And so we were playing that game, and then it morphed into, well, let's pretend to be like these baby dragons, and so then we were lizards, and like I don't know, it was I don't know, yeah. You're on the ground, kind of moving around. You can probably about imagine what pretending to be a baby lizard is like. I think lizards get flies with their tongues, so there was lots of some of that going
Catching flies.
Yeah.
As long as it wasn't real flies.
Yeah, but their imagination is incredible. I was actually thinking about that too. Like, my imagination isn't that good anymore, but like theirs is very good, because I'm like, I just want to sit here and do nothing. But like they're just like, oh, we got to invent something, we got to think up something. And like I feel like as adults we kind of have lost that maybe a little bit. Like I don't know, we're so tired of maybe during the day we're maybe trying to create stuff or come up with ideas but for them it's like, we're just getting started. Like, let's think up this and think up that. And so it's kind of cool to see. And they keep us young, I guess, is kind of the, keep us creative, keep us excited, interested, energized, all that stuff. So
That's why I kept having them.
yeah, there you go.
I'll be 58 when Cameron graduates.
Yeah, there you go.
Think about that.
Yeah.
If he graduates.
Oh, he's doing good. He's ready for middle school, he said on Saturday.
Oh, was he bragging about his advanced math class?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
No, that's
Very
pretty
surprising.
Oh, he's definitely gonna be fine then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's doing advanced math.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So are you gonna be doing advanced math? Is that
I think that'll be his mother.
okay?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
She'll be good at that. What are you nodding at?
Logan agrees. Huh?
I'm good at math.
Just agreeing with you.
It's good at math. All right.
Agrees.
Your kids do they have like a back to school thing tonight? Or no? That's maybe middle school and high school.
Yeah, I know there's a couple things this week potentially that were going on, but I can't remember the exact schedule of kind of how it goes. But
Well, in my house, this is how you know the schedule.
mm-hmm.
Did my daughters get their hair done yesterday? Yes. Are they getting their nails done today? Yes. That means something's coming,
Okay,
right? Yeah, that means something's coming.
that's a good litmus test.
Right. That means school pictures are coming. School's probably getting ready to start.
Yeah. Okay. Back to school. I mean, everything's going to be ready, I assume, then?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I mean, we were just at Concordia.
Yeah.
Shout out to Miko Henny, like all the work that they've done.
Yeah.
So, like, it's easier to build a building from brand new, from ground up,
I'm sure.
than
Yeah.
it is to make additions and changes
Yep.
and things like they've done. And they've done a fantastic job.
Yeah.
It's not all ready, but we also have had, dude, my wife was telling me, so she follows Jim Flowers, retired meteorologist.
Yeah.
So far this year, okay, blizzard, massive tornadoes, flooding, and then there's something else, but also wind. that crazy windstorm we had just this year.
Yeah.
So they've had to battle that.
Yeah,
I mean, if you imagine having to navigate construction of an existing building with all those conditions, I mean, they've really had their hands full.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'll be
So
great.
when you think about it, it's been a lot to work through. But
Yeah.
that'll be exciting for the school and just
For sure.
getting everybody more settled, and for the teachers, I'm sure they're excited to be more settled and not be, all over the place. And
Right.
So that'll be a huge blessing.
How to move furniture in and out, in
Yeah.
and out, in and
Yeah.
out, stack stuff up,
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got some kind of back to school thing tonight,
Okay.
along with, some sports activities meetings on top of that. And
Yeah.
I don't even know when they go back to school. He goes back this weekend.
Yeah, I think they start the 14th, and that was cool on Sunday too. We got to install Jenny Carlson as a third grade teacher, and so that's just exciting as the school starts to, a lot of cool, exciting stuff happening there, and it'll be a blessing to see how it all unfolds during the year. So
Yeah, are your girls excited to go back?
they are actually, both of them are really looking forward to it. I know Josie will have the same teacher because she's in that kindergarten, first grade classroom, and then Maddie will have a new teacher in third grade this year, but it's one that she's had a lot of interaction with, who was formerly a teacher aide. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, they're excited for sure.
We actually have quite a few teachers, Concordia teachers at GraceHill. Now that I think about it,
Yeah,
like a bunch. Yeah, we should probably pray for them this weekend.
Yeah. Do a send out. Yeah, do something. Sure. God bless them. 'Cause that's
They're your problem now.
exactly.
Don't mess this up.
Yeah, but and too, I guess just kind of again pointing to the community connections. With the school, it's cool to have that connection as an association church and get to be involved and be a part of some of that stuff. Talk about the different partners we work with in the community, and so I think again just pointing to that idea of we're in this together, and let's find ways to serve and love one another through that process. I think that's always a powerful statement. I think about it too a little bit with the Olympics. You see, especially some of these guys that compete in like individual events, and they're probably kind of on their own a lot of times, but then you see their countrymen surround them and in the stands cheering them on and stuff, and so kind of the same idea again of just that being connected in a community is valuable, and certainly there's opportunities to be of faith and to exercise faith and things outside of a community. I mean, people say, I don't need a church to worship. I can worship my God myself. But I think that's one thing that we didn't really get into this week, but I think that this also speaks to is just how Jesus points out that those two go together, loving God and loving neighbor. And so it's really pretty hard to live those out unless you're in a community and part of a community and both loving and receiving love. So yeah, as always, we encourage you to be a part of that at GraceHill Church.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a great point, especially from the COVID era, when everything went remote. I know that there are a lot of churches that struggle still to get people back in the house of worship, and how just incredibly disheartening that is, knowing that there are people who are like, no, this is okay. We can do this online now and watch the stream, which I don't ever go back. Very rarely do I go back and watch the stream. Very rarely, because it ain't the same. Okay. All right. We can do anything. We can do everything for the quality of it and try to overproduce and overhype it. But the reality is that if you're not in the house of worship with fellow Christians, you're missing out. You're missing out. One of the big focuses for GraceHill, and has always been the focus, is fellowship and developing relationships within the walls of that church that spill out outside the walls.
Yeah,
it's really hard to do if you're not there.
Yeah,
and I get it. I mean, to this day, there are some Sundays I wake up, I'm like, I could do without it today. I could do without it just one day. And then I get there, I'm like, I couldn't have done without this.
Right.
I love this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, just being forced to watch the stream out of necessity. As someone who doesn't particularly jive with the songs anyway, it's one thing when you're in the space,
Yeah.
whether you're serving or just worshiping, to feel something, but it doesn't matter the quality of the stream. It's like, you know what, I think I'll just watch the message later
Right.
on 2x speed, watch the podcast.
Yeah.
Like you're checking the
Right.
Jesus box. It's like, that's
Yeah.
not, even in a Christian school, it's like, you know, the sense of community at GraceHill through a stream, which is nothing compared to
Being in there, yeah.
is still better than anything I've been able to find. And so to
Sure.
sort of tear that out,
Yeah.
I think it speaks not only to how much of a drop off there is when you're not in the space, but particularly at GraceHill, how welcoming and how much of a community is actually built there.
Yeah.
Where that's still my go-to, even though it's, you know, online.
Yeah, and that
Yeah, for
just
sure.
to reiterate this on a live mic, Logan said that he doesn't love contemporary Christian music, so he doesn't love the music piece of it, and he goes to school in Nashville, and there's no shortage of houses of worship in Nashville for sure.
Are you a hymn guy?
More so than
Yeah, yeah. Camaraderie. Look at you guys.
Yeah.
Start ganging up on me.
Like a little hymn every once in a while.
But so his default is to watch the stream or watch the recast of the service from Nashville, and can still feel the community through that. It really is something that is so special to me. And Brady, I know you feel this too. Sunday mornings are busy for us.
Sure.
I mean, we're running and we're thinking and we're problem solving. Almost every Sunday, it's like, okay, this needs this needs attention. We need to give it attention, and you cannot avoid the interactions with people. You can't.
Right. Oh yeah.
And I don't want to avoid those interactions. I'd rather things not be perfect, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I'd rather not be 100% locked in and ready to do whatever it is that I'm called to do,
Yeah.
versus not having time for fellowship and everything. I wish that's the one thing I wish there was a little more time in between services. We've got a half an hour ish in between services now. We're blessed with the space we're in, temporarily, that the fellowship space is the worship space.
Yeah.
And so people just naturally are inclined to talk and hang out. With the new building, we were very intentional about the fellowship space.
Oh yeah.
Both the vibe, the feel, the comforts of it, the location of it, logistics, that people are going to be inclined, and it's going to be so much better that people can be like, hey, we don't have to run out of here because there's actually space for us. And that space is as big as the worship space.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
mean, it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it is important. Not just to, paint a smile on your face and say, hey, good morning, but more so to understand that these people, ever growing, by the way, 11 o'clock, holy smokes.
Yeah. 260 something, I think.
Unreal.
Yeah.
That these people all have their own stories and their own backgrounds and their seasons of going through stuff, and to develop relationships with folks like that that you can pray for, that you can support, that you can help. Matt Lamb's a great example. I've known Matt for a very long time, and some of the things that you don't really necessarily appreciate are the things that Matt does Matt and Deb have done selflessly to care for other people without, proclaiming it. Sort of like Jesus said, "Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. Don't tell anybody else.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this thing. Don't tell anybody that I did it."
Yeah.
That was Matt. Matt just cares for fellow people, and in a time where it's time for Matt to be cared for, you wouldn't know that. You just
Yeah.
wouldn't know what's going on if you didn't have an opportunity to talk to the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard someone said this week, and just kind of playing off that idea of caring for people. Then they made a comment that just something that I think Justin and I both had been able to reach out and just kind of send a text or talk to someone who was going through a situation, and I was like, I don't feel like we really did much. They were appreciative, and the person said, you don't realize how absent intentionality is from our culture, and just you say you're going to do something, you do it, and you have intention behind okay, I want to take care of this person, so I'm going to jump in and do what I can, and even on small activities, and that was really interesting to me because I've heard elsewhere in a few places of just how the art of listening has kind of been lost over time, and just how valuable it is just for someone to be listened to. And so I think there's a lot of unique ways that we can care for people that don't have to be these huge grand gestures of, I think sometimes it's intimidating to say, well, how do I care for this person? I got to do this huge thing. I got to, show up at their house and, do all these things or something. But maybe it's as simple as I'm just going to listen to this person really tell me what they're going through, and they're going to feel listened to, they're going to feel cared for, or I'm going to remember an anniversary date that was significant in their lives, and I'm just going to send them a quick text message. And so I think, just there's so many ways that we can show care for people. And again, I think that's what we're called to, and hopefully we find opportunities in the days and weeks to come to just take those little steps to just care for one another. And I think what you're talking about too about GraceHill, hopefully people experience it as a genuine place. I hope people don't come and think, everyone was really nice, but can I trust that niceness? Was it real? Was it true? And I hope people walk away saying they were kind, but I could tell it was genuine and real. They weren't just putting on a face because they want me to add to their numbers on Sunday or, and so hopefully people will experience that too. But yeah, we're, as a community, we're all in it together, and yeah.
Yeah. I had an interaction yesterday, as it happens.
Yeah.
I like to be out, and I took Cameron to lunch yesterday, one of our favorite spots, and one of the employees at the restaurant said, "Hey, you sing at GraceHill?" I was like, "Yeah," and he goes, "I was there for the Crossroads event."
Dang. Okay.
Because I forgot about the Crossroads event. That's what really. So it was Crossroads led right into our city.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, dude, you had a week, brother.
Well, you too. You were at all that stuff too.
Oh my goodness.
Playing and singing.
But he said, "Yeah." He goes, "I was there with my grandma." I was like, "Oh," and instantly I was like,
yes.
"Okay, I remember seeing you there."
Yeah.
Younger guy.
Yeah.
Name's Alex. Anyway, it was like cool interaction, He's like, "So you work there?" We talked a little bit about that, and he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "I've been going to Life Church." I'm like, "Oh, great." So he's plugged in, I don't care where he goes to church.
Right.
I just love that he's a young man. He's plugged in.
Yeah.
Is he going to Crossroads with his grandma? That's awesome,
Very cool.
And to your point, to have an authentic, genuine interaction or conversation with somebody without come to GraceHill. We're better than Life Church, I'm more concerned about people's relationship upward than I am, showing up to whatever we've got going on.
Absolutely.
Obviously, I love our church, but it's not for everybody.
Sure.
Yeah, it just isn't. And I don't want to be a church that's all things to all people. You don't have an identity. I'm more concerned about people's relationship with Jesus, and to be able to have an event like that where there are people who come to our church for, a couple of hours and may never come back until maybe the next event like that. But to still have like an authentic interaction with that person is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. That
Man.
that you recognize. I remember him being. It was Diane's grandson, right? She was kind of the head of the event there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, she said she brought her grandson. I don't know if I got a chance to really meet him, but
Yeah. Nice kid.
that's cool.
Yeah. And I'll have an opportunity to see him often because
Yeah.
that's my favorite restaurant. It's my go-to lunch spot.
Yeah. Well, that's just
For sure.
so just interesting and unique how just who you're going to run into, you never know when you're connecting with or impacting someone, in a way like that. So,
Yeah. And
that's
I
cool.
said to Alex, I was like, well, this is the biggest small town there is. And Cameron being the most logical person I've ever
Yeah, some
known.
stats.
He goes, that doesn't make any sense. And I go, why doesn't it make sense? He goes, you can't have a big and small thing at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm like, eat your flatbread.
He's ready for that advanced math class.
Dude,
He's ready.
pray for
I can tell.
Mr. Dorr. Because that's who's teaching
Is it? Yeah.
3 kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. That'd be cool,
Yep.
but
It's pretty awesome.
awesome.
Well, I hope you get to take a breath
Yeah.
because, like you can't be all that you are without
Oh,
taking a breath. Just remember that.
yeah.
I mean, you are a lot younger than us, which was evident on the basketball court. I think when I was your age, no, I was not in the shape that you're in now. There's no way, man. You were,
No,
I
it was-
couldn't believe it. And Justin, too. Like,
yeah.
it was such a good, we did humility a few weeks ago or whatever. Like, it was a very humbling moment for the two of us to be like, Brady, bro.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it was fun. I hadn't played for probably 10 years, like really truly competitively for 10 years. I've missed it. So I'm actually going to go tonight, I think, to
Are you really?
Concordia to play open gym. So something was awakened inside of me. I got to
Stretch.
yeah. Yes.
Stretch.
Stretch. And
Yeah.
I'm going to have knee braces, ankle braces, wrist braces, elbow braces.
So
Everything.
the thing is, like, I was thinking about this the whole time. There's this, they go to GraceHill too. They're busy. They got a bunch of kids and a bunch of activities. We know how that goes.
Yeah.
But he coaches basketball, okay, for his kid, get a middle school age kid. And he's in shape, good in shape guy, and played a pickup game with some high school kids and just destroyed his knee. And so I went into it this year thinking about that. Like, Aaron, you need your knees.
Yeah.
So don't get crazy.
No, it's
It's hard not to.
It. Well, yeah, once it gets
Yeah.
going.
How about some deep knee bends and some toe touches before?
Yeah, something to get warmed up. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you, man. You
good to be
carried
here,
quite a
so.
load this past week, and you're the right man for the job. That's for sure. Couldn't do without you.
Yeah.
Thank
thank you. And,
It's incredible.
I mean, and too, our whole staff right now, we're slightly shorthanded, you could say, and I think everyone's just really stepping up to. I feel like there's really a mentality of, hey, what needs done, let's get it done, regardless. So
Yeah,
it's cool to work with a group that's committed like that. So
it is.
yeah,
Onward and upward.
Awesome.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
cool. Thank you guys.